you know, and yeah, well, and you know that's usually okay with me as well. Like, there's a lot of movies that I don't follow the first time I watch them, but even then, like, you know, without him actually coming out and like stating the rules in like a press conference or something like that afterwards, there would be no clear cut, you know, rhyme or reason to a lot of the scenes in the film if he didn't make, you know, the fact that, you know, there's multiple layers of dreaming, and like even with a lot of those rules, it was still kind of, you're still kind of unclear of what their kind of master plan is in this whole big heist that they're pulling.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heist film.
Yeah, totally, yeah. And Cillian Murphy was wonderful. Cillian? Pretty sure it's Cillian.
Okay, Cillian.
It's a wicked name.
And he was a surprise to me. I actually didn't know he was in this film until I was watching it and he appeared.
He's in every good film.
That's true.
That's not true at all.
No,
he's
I know.
in one other.
No, two others.
Sorry, he's in Batman.
Yeah, that's like half of his film.
He's in second Batman for like 5 minutes. Not even. Although I'm glad he was there.
Okay.
And tied the two together.
All right, well, let's continue the Cillian Murphy debate.
Yeah, let's do that. Did you ever see Sunshine? What a piss movie that was.
I didn't.
I didn't see it either. Well, I have one other thing I kind of wanted to discuss, and that's, I mean, we've kind of talked about it already, but just the whole nature of the ending, and you know what that means for the rest of the movie, and if you think it's important to like go back and analyze the film to see, you know, like maybe he was dreaming the whole time, or you know maybe there was, you know, because there's some parts that are when you think about it kind of odd, like when he goes to pick up what's his name, Eames?
Yeah.
The forager guy or whatever his name is.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. He goes to pick up Tom Hardy and starts getting chased by these, you know, enemies that seemingly come out of nowhere, and like, you know, in the you know, there's a lot of them, and he gets to that point. It's like he's running through this marketplace or whatnot, which is kind of like a maze, you know, or a labyrinth, which is what some of the dreams have been, you know, described as being how the architects make them. And he gets to like that point where he has to squeeze through the wall and just kind of like seemingly gets through the wall right at the right moment, and like there's kind of some.
Watanabe picks him up.
Yeah,
there's like some impossible coincidence.
Totally, and yeah, I've heard some people talking about how, you know, like that's like kind of the biggest clue that, you know, the whole movie's a dream to Leo DiCaprio.
And Marion Cotillard's like says hints at that too when she's talking to him, and says, you know, isn't it crazy that like you live in this world where you have to go in and face your demons and stuff, and there's some big multinational corporation that wants to hire you to get back to your kids, blah blah blah. However, I think some of those readings of the movie are kind of missing the point. If you're reading whether it's a dream or whether it isn't, I don't think it changes my idea of the movie either way, pretty much. And the most important thing about the ending, and I read this in an interview with the guy who played like the chemist.
Okay, yeah.
He was asked about the ending, and he said people keep asking, you know, whether I think the top stopped rolling after the end of the movie or whether it kept spinning and it was a dream. But the more important part, he said, was that DiCaprio walked away. Like, he didn't care whether it stopped spinning. And that, to me, is just like the very essence of Christopher Nolan. In a lot of his movies, how self-deception is such a big deal, and we create our own narratives, and he just decided, whatever he's in, he's decided to commit to this narrative.
I think, honestly, the biggest clue to whether or not it is a dream or reality is the director's filmography. One, he's never had a happy ending. Two, Batman Begins came closest, right?
Sure.
But we all know how that ended up.
It wasn't really an ending.
That wasn't an ending, right? He either has a sad ending or no ending. No real ending. Prestige, that's not an ending.
Oh, yeah, we've had this Prestige talk.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Insomnia, that's a sad ending. Memento, that's a beginning. And it's also a sad ending because you realize that he's a serial murderer.
Yeah.
Right?
Spoiler. For those that are living in
I
1989.
bet a lot of people haven't seen
Whoopsie.
Well, whoops, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't listen to it.
Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Soze.
Oh shit.
God damn it,
Damn,
Greg!
fuck.
Bruce Willis was dead.
Well, that's.
You didn't say what movie.
Well, that
We're talking
actually.
about the kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was totally talking about the
There's
kid.
this corpse raising this
That
child.
actually leads us into our top 5.
Well, but there's still one.
You still have one more?
I gotta say one or two.
You're gonna make me edit this down?
What?
It's fine.
People,
People,
listen.
we're enjoyable.
We're gonna.
Everyone's listening to this.
We're
like
so
3 listeners
charming.
anyway, and they're like our best friends. We're
Yeah.
gonna grill them
Yeah.
on it and
Yeah.
make them feel bad anyway. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
anyway, one thing I felt took me out of the movie a little bit. I'll just mention this quickly. Is I felt the stakes weren't high enough in some regards. You've probably heard this before, but like them, because they can't die in the dream, they make up this rule that you go to this
limbo.
go to limbo, and I really felt like I could really feel the filmmakers sort of pulling the strings so they could have some stakes there, and it took me out of it a little bit.
No, I felt the exact same thing when they started saying that. I'm like, really? You're breaking the rule for that now.
Yeah.
When we're all right. Well, all right.
Also, with the last couple of Christopher Nolan's movies, I've noticed just his last 3 have been blockbusters, basically.
Mhm.
Like, really big ones. Or, at least, I'm going to say Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Inception. And they all have those little, like, cutesy moments in the middle of the action scenes. You know, like, I remember in Batman Begins, it's like he's literally flying on rooftops! And then in The Dark Knight, there was the scene where the kids are playing fake guns. And then
Oh,
the cars
right.
start blowing
Yeah,
up.
that's
Yeah.
something from a Michael Bay movie right there.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
now here there was like a little wink. I think when the guy like pulled off the roll in the van, he wakes up and he's like, "Oh yeah!" And then he looks around and nobody saw his big thing. But it's just, I don't know if he's just making like a joke to the audience, but
Yeah.
oh man, it just annoys me. To a little
Well, there was
degree.
none of that in Memento.
No.
Memento was a deafeningly somber movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I don't think that even entered into his filmography until Batman Begins. Until he started doing blockbusters.
Yeah.
When that sort of thing is kind of expected to remind the audience, it's okay, you're only in a movie.
But his always seemed very calculated, and I was wondering if they, you thought they were, like,
Everything he does in his movies is very calculated.
Mhm.
And those, because they're so out of place, I think, are extremely calculated. It's like, oh, this variable goes here. If x equals y, then x times b must equal kids playing guns, and
Yeah.
then Batman blows up a car.
Also, as a great little joke in the movie, I did like the kiss between Ellen Page and
That was
That was
actually
great.
really funny.
Yeah.
That was really well handled.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
laughed
just
a lot
the
there.
performances between the two was just hilarious, I thought.
Yeah.
It was worth a shot. It was great.
The last thing I wanted to say was I found this fun little fact about the movie on the internet. I'm sure we all really like the Hans Zimmer score.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Dun,
Da, da,
But the main one, I
da.
think that's the one. It's like, yeah, it's one where there's 2 right after each other, whatever. Is actually it's an Edith Piaf song, slowed down, like slowed down immensely, and then done with other instruments, obviously. But I listened to the 2 songs today on the
Is it
internet.
their wake-up song?
Yeah, Edith Piaf is the wake up song.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's really funny because it's slowed down, and that
That's
I only
that's
hear it in the
interesting.
movie.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's cool.
I
That
wouldn't
is-
have noticed that either without the glory of the internet.
Yeah. And Marion Cotillard won her Academy Award for playing Edith Piaf.
One thing I wanted to mention quick, sorry to drag this out a little bit longer, but I didn't really understand the intentions or like why the characters aside from Leonardo DiCaprio were doing this heist. Was like I don't recall there ever being like any monetary like gain or anything, which is usually the driving force for a lot of these things. Like it was basically Leonardo DiCaprio going around picking up people and just being like, I need this kind of person, I need this kind of person, I need this kind of person, all to get like him back to his kids, because that's all that Ken Watanabe, thank you. That's the only thing that he promised him, really, right? Was he's like, if you do this heist for me, I will send you back home. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is kind of his right-hand man, so I kind of understand why he's wanting to help him out. But everyone else, I was kind of like, why are they doing this?
To me, that's a genre convention.
Yeah.
And like he's playing with the heist movie, and like in a lot of like heist movies, it's not like the money, it's the juice, you know. It's the guys, they're in it for the action, like in Heat.
Yeah.
that's fair.
You know,
To me,
and you
the
don't
action is the juice. Oh, Tom Sizemore.
even, and you know, you don't even really need to mention the money that much because it's a heist movie. You expect everyone, you know, they gotta find this guy is the best. That's what he does.
That's fair. Yeah.
I agree with you, Alan, though. I think there needed to be some money in there.
They might have mentioned it at some point.
They might have. Yeah, like you know.
A lot of things that Ken Watanabe says I can't understand.
That's true.
That's one of the
His whole
reasons.
speech at the beginning when he was talking about the carpet, I was like,
Yeah.
what is he saying? I don't. And then that was like the the reason why
Yeah.
their thing messed up, and I was confused.
Probably the reason why I have to go back and see it again.
Yeah, the only reason.
Let's give this conversation the kick.
All
if you
right.
will.
Yeah.